VLAN 1, the one VLAN to rule them all. All right, not quite, but it is the most famous, or I guess I should say the most infamous VLAN, and that's because it's the default VLAN on a ton of switches that you can never delete and aren't supposed to ever use. When you're first learning networking, every training material out there tells you the same thing. Don't use VLAN 1. It's insecure, it causes problems, it's better to just shut it down and avoid it. But if that's true, and spoiler alert, it is, then why can't we delete it? What makes VLAN 1 untouchable? Well, let's talk about it. All right. So if you've been studying networking for basically any amount of time, you know that VLANs are kind of a big deal. They segment your network, they improve security, they reduce broadcast traffic. VLANs are pretty freaking awesome. I love VLANs. Layer 2 does not get enough credit if you ask me. And VLAN 1, it's there on every single switch. Cisco, HP, Juniper, doesn't matter. Pretty much all the major vendors. VLAN 1 is just there, always. Like that one relative who shows up to every family gathering uninvited. It's the default VLAN. Every port on a brand new switch? Yeah, VLAN 1. That default VLAN for untagged traffic? Yeah, VLAN 1. It's everywhere, whether you like it or not. And here's where things start to get weird. Every CCNA course, every network security guide, every best practice document says the exact same thing. Don't put user traffic on VLAN 1. Disable unused ports. Don't use VLAN 1 for anything intentional. Basically, treat VLAN 1 like it's radioactive. So naturally you think, all right, well, I'll just delete it, right? Problem solved. So you go into your switch, you type no VLAN 1, and the switch just says no. Like a toddler, just no. But here's what nobody tells you when you're learning this stuff. VLAN 1 isn't something special because some magic management protocol lives inside of that VLAN. It's special because Cisco just baked it into the architecture. VLAN 1 is the baseline VLAN that the hardware expects from the moment it powers on. It's the default bridging domain. It's simply where everything starts when the switch comes to life. iOS was literally designed around VLAN 1 existing, which is why you can't delete it. Now, you might be wondering why they designed it this way, and couldn't they have just picked a different VLAN? Well, yes, but that real answer goes back to the early days of switching from the 1990s. Cisco needed a consistent, predictable VLAN that every switch would have, no matter what. VLAN 1 became that baseline. It wasn't chosen because everyone just agreed on it. Cisco made it the default, and because they were the dominant enterprising networking vendor at the time, it just stuck. And honestly, it does kind of make sense. It means you can plug a brand new switch into a network and it'll pass basic traffic and work with other vendors right out of the box. But that predictability is also exactly why it's a security nightmare. If VLAN 1 is on every single switch, is the default VLAN for untagged traffic, and everyone knows it's always there, it becomes a massive target for attackers. If a hacker gets access to VLAN 1, they can do some nasty, nasty stuff. They can see information like CDP or LLDP advertisements, which can reveal device names and sometimes even topology details. In older networks running VTP in server or client mode, someone plugging in a rogue switch with a higher revision number absolutely could overwrite your VLAN database and delete all your VLANs. And then they can attempt a VLAN hopping attack if things are misconfigured. This is why security professionals lose their minds over VLAN 1. It's not that VLAN 1 itself is evil, it's that it's universal, predictable, and often left wide open. So, if we can't delete it, what do we actually do about it? Well, here's what most network engineers do in the real world and what I do for every single switch I configure. Number one, don't assign any access ports to VLAN 1. Put your users on VLAN 10, your servers on 20, your printers on 30, whatever, it doesn't matter as long as it makes sense for your environment, but just keep everything off of VLAN 1. Number two, disable unused protocols where you don't need them. If you're not using CDP on edge ports or access ports, just turn it off. And then number three, shut down unused ports or put them on a dummy VLAN. You can create a black hole VLAN like VLAN 999 or 998, whatever, something that isn't being trunked out of that switch, and then throw all of your unused ports on that VLAN. That way, users can plug in, see that the port is active, but they need to call IT to get it working. Basically, VLAN 1 is always going to exist. You can't fight it, it's a losing battle, but you can quarantine it. Put that uninvited family member at the kids' table where they belong. Really quick, here is what that looks like. On a Cisco switch, I have only management configured. I'm going to try and delete VLAN 1. And boom, the switch won't let you. It's hard coded. But once you create your real VLANs and move your access ports, VLAN 1 ends up with 0 assigned ports. It still exists, but it's irrelevant. And that's exactly the goal. You can move your management interfaces to another VLAN or use a dedicated out-of-band management port, but that doesn't change the fact that VLAN 1 is always present underneath everything. You don't delete it, you just stop relying on it. If you've enjoyed this content and want to learn more about networking in a way that actually makes sense and gets you excited about technology, go ahead and subscribe. I post new videos every single week, and I hope that helped. Don't forget to follow me, nerds.